The profound Chinese culture has over 5,000 years of history. The creation and presentation of Chinese art symbolizes the essence of Chinese culture. Thousands of years of heritage provided a canvas for extraordinary developments in painting, calligraphy, ceramics, drama, and literature. Masters in various disciplines enriched each generation. Their fantastic works wove a colorful tapestry for the unique Chinese civilization. This painting of the house is a good combination of such culture and art. With extreme perseverance, the painter completed this great work within 1 year, despite being 70 years old. Such achievement has never been done before. Furthermore, the 50-meter painting illustrates over 1,000 human figures and depicts flowers, birds, animals, mountain, and water sceneries, and it is the pinnacle of art form. The painting's profound meanings can help to purify human minds and behaviors. This is the best teaching an artist can offer to mankind. Mr. Yi Zijiang, born in 1938, had his first personal exhibition in 1964. In 1965, his painting of Tian Dan Fu Guo won the Education Ministry Award and was presented as a national gift to President Park Chung-hee of South Korea. It is now kept at National Museum of Seoul. Mr. Jiang has won many awards since. At the age of 30, Ms. Jiang realized the vanity of fame and began a low-profile lifestyle. At the time of his first exhibition, his teacher, Mr. Bing Nan Li, emphasized that art should be more than just for enjoyment or decoration. A work of art should be able to purify and move people. That is why Mr. Jiang's later works, although voiceless, contains profound meanings. In the past, Confucius compiled the Book of Spring and Autumn, a historical record of his time. It made those who were immoral fear the consequences of their actions. Today, the painting of scenes of the hell is painted in the hope to remind all of us, including intellectuals, artists, politicians, and conscientious media workers, so that all will understand their responsibilities for our time and humanity, and exercise their influence positively to encourage all people to become more humble, modest, and pure. For Mr. Jiang, guiding and changing people's mind through painting remains his wish for all. Guided introduction to the painting of the scenes of the hells. Life is short and impermanent. Our lives depend on the continuation of one single breath. Since there is life, it is inevitable that there will be death. There are lots of questions as to where we will go after we die. Are we going to the world of ultimate bliss? Or are we going to the heavens, or to the hells, or to the realms of hungry ghosts? Or are we going to be reincarnated as animals or human beings? Our ultimate destination will depend on the karma that we accumulate in our present lives. The painting of the scenes of the hells displays the truth of human suffering after falling into the vast depth of hells. This particular painting also demonstrates that all human suffering is self-inflicted rather than being imposed by the adjudicators in the hells. After viewing this painting, we should realize that it is truly difficult to be reincarnated back into the human form, and this idea in itself is terrifying. To have thoughts that will lead us to those sufferings in the torture of hells. The sutras say that by sincerely confessing and repenting our past sins and misdeeds, we can eliminate misfortunes. Let us remind one another about this. Amitabha Buddha and other sages welcome sentient beings to the world of ultimate bliss. The greatest achievement in one's lifetime is to be reborn in the Pure Land within this life. This will allow us to break away from the perpetual cycle of rebirth and free us from the suffering of both life and death. The world of ultimate bliss is the unsurpassed Pure Land, created by Amitabha Buddha's incomparable willpower, with the purpose of ending the sufferings of all beings. If we have the faith, the vow, and the practice in chanting Amitofo mindfully, if we have complete sincerity in our faith, vow, and practice, and we abide by the teaching of Buddha and practice this continually all our lives, therefore at the time when our life comes to an end, the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas will come and lead us to the world of ultimate bliss. Practices of 10 good deeds lead to the heavens. If we cannot go to the world of ultimate bliss, however, we accumulate good karma through good deeds within our lifetime, we can still go to the heavens to enjoy heavenly bliss. But these 10 good deeds must be observed. What are the 10 good deeds? No killing, no stealing, no sexual misconduct, no lying, no enticing speech, no derisive speech, no abusive speech, no greed, no anger, no ignorance. To gain a human form by observing the 5 precepts. Buddha said, to be born into the human form is unbelievably rare, and that the human form once lost is extremely hard to regain. How can one attain the human form in the next life? The basic requirement is to observe the 5 precepts. What are the 5 precepts? No killing, no stealing, no sexual misconduct, no lying, no intoxicants. Whether one is rich or poor depends on the amount of good and bad deeds one accumulate within their lifetime. There is a saying that to know what we did in our previous lives, we only need to just look at what we have in our present lives. To know what might result in our future life, we simply look at what we are doing now. It is fundamental that we understand this concept. Practices of 10 bad deeds leading to suffering in hells. The 10 bad deeds are the opposite of the 10 good deeds. There are only a few decades in one's life if we do not realize the need to practice good deeds, or we do not know the law of cause and effect, or we do not accumulate merits and virtue. When we are taken by the judge of impermanence, when we are standing in the horrors of hell, it will be too late to regret. Too late to regret now. The judge is here to try us. It is like waking up from a dream. All actions done in one's life will be judged after one's death. The kings and soldiers in the hells manifest from our karma. People who have no causes to go to these hells do not experience the horrors of hells. These horrors are not there because the kings of hells are cruel, or that they willingly inflict pain and suffering to the dead. The sins of these hells are the manifestations of one's own karma, nothing more and nothing less. The first hall in the hells, the hall of King Qin. Here in the first hall in the hells, the length of life, the level of auspiciousness, and the punishment in the hells are decided. All sinful souls are brought to King Qin to be tried and sentenced accordingly. These souls will be punished in the hells and to have their karma reduced. If any soul can balance their good deeds with their bad, this soul can then be sent to the 10th hall to await rebirth. No one can hide in front of the karma mirror. The cunning and deceitful people will be exposed. When one dies, nothing is retained except one's karma. All of our bad deeds will be exposed in the karma mirror. No one can deny anything. The first and most important good deed is filial piety. The most serious sin of all is to commit suicide. It is foolish and also agonizing for one to commit suicide. The suffering after suicide is more painful. One would suffer the pain of suicide repeatedly because one has yet to repay the four great kindnesses, the kindnesses of one's parents, teachers, country, and all other beings. If one commits suicide without fulfilling one's duties, not only would the parents be heartbroken, the spouse and children will lead miserable lives. Therefore, this sin is exceptionally severe. A chaotic world begins with the loss of conscience and the lack of moral education. In our physical world, it is easy to commit uncountable bad karma. For example, indulgence in sexual misconduct or gambling, indulgence in alcohol, or not being dutiful or filial to the parents, or forgetting the kindness of others. One mistake leads to 1,000 lifetimes of regret, and it will be too late to realize this at the end of one's life. If everyone fails to perform their duties at work, endless karma will be committed. The source of all misconduct comes from the three poisons: greed, anger, and ignorance. The lack of morality these days is due to the failure of adhering to the teachings of sages and moral people. Many people know their own religions only at a superficial level, and not their true essence, which is about moral education. Ignoring the essence of our own religion and focusing only on formalities further confuses them and leads to deterioration of their morals. If one does not practice what one learns, one should feel ashamed in front of virtuous books. We study the teaching of the sages to educate our communities. If we do not harmonize ourselves with these teachings and not act as a role model for others, but instead indulge in fame and financial gain, then we will be the first to come to this hell for remedial study. Next, one goes to other hells to clear one's sins. People who profit by cheating disappoint those with sincerity. The purpose of social educators is to serve and educate the people. Their only purpose is to look after the people's interests. Should anyone try to gain profit for themselves, it will not only damage the image of the educators, but also disappoint the people. Such as, if people who lead Buddhist chanting ceremonies miss a few lines, or if they are unfocused or insincere, they will first have to make up for their lapses after death. Then they will be sent to different hells to absolve their sins. The dim lights from an oil lamp cannot show up black-hearted people. Intelligent, capable people can bring good fortune to others, or bring disaster too. For some who claim to be religious and fail to follow the teachings in the sutras, their suffering will be unbearable once the judge arrives. They will also be reborn as animals to repay for their sins. People go to different hells according to their sins. Dictated by the course of one's karma, one will go to a specific hell according to one's past deeds, as the due punishment is personally experienced and served. The hell of pillars. It is said, lewd thoughts arise from a comfortable life. Today, sexual indulgence is widespread. Most who suffer in this hell indulged in their past lives in sexual misconduct and adultery, in the selling of pornographic books, tapes and discs, or in the photographing, writing, possessing, or was involved in the public exhibition of pornography and similar materials. These people will be sent to this particular hell after their death. They will be forced to embrace a red-hot burning copper pillar, die from burns all over their bodies, and then be reborn repeatedly in this hell as a form of perpetual punishment. This pain and suffering will be unbearable. Once these people can eliminate their bad karma, They are often reborn as animals. Ending their karma as animals, they will gain a human form. They will usually be poor and despised, have short or harsh lives. The hell of firebed. The hell of firebed is like a cooking grill. Males who engage in sexual misconduct will be forced to embrace a copper pillar, as females suffer on an iron bed. We read that those who like to take lives, or cook flesh in various ways, or those who trample on small insects, come to this hell to suffer after their death. The period of suffering in this hell is inconceivably long. If they completely eliminate their karma for this hell, but they still have other karma, they will be sent to other hells to clear those karma. The second hall in the hells, the hall of King Chujiang. King Chujiang is in charge of the second hall, known as the Great Hell of Lasting Suffering. We are forced to come here due to countless killings in our former life. The punishment will be in accordance with each and every particular killing that we have committed. One gets killed the same way in which one killed others. Beings come to this hell of life due to their love of killing in their previous lives. If the degree of killing can be classified into 3 levels, there will be 3 levels of corresponding hells. In short, the punishment depends on one's karma, and one can be sent to as many as 16 places for punishment. One goes to other hells after completing the suffering here. The punishments can last hundreds or thousands of years. The level of suffering increases at each of the 16 places. They are linked successively. The torture seems endless. The hell of stomach piercing. Those who viciously harm other beings, such as killing aquatic beings using forks and spears, or hunting animals, will be pierced in their stomachs. They will not only have their stomachs pierced, but also have their bodies stabbed beyond recognition. Their misery is extreme, and their lasting and painful death are revived by the mere touch of a breeze. The torture process will be repeated endlessly. The hell of the sword leaves. Ruthless people who use knives and clubs to fight with others, or who instigate fights, or who engage in gang fights, or who invade another country, or those who initiate wars will suffer in this hell after death. When we look at the current state of our world, we see the weak falling victim to the strong. Competition escalates to become fighting. The escalation of fighting becomes war. Many innocent people are facing unprecedented disasters. Today, the earth has become a global community. Invasion and occupation of another's country should not occur. When we have observed the sufferings of others condemned within this hell, we should contemplate the real value and meaning of life. The hell of tongue raking. Conflicts can arise from the expression of too many wrong words. The karma of speech causes endless misdeeds. The punishments are numerous and extreme. In this painting, the tongue is raked as it is being pulled out. The Buddha said, "Those who bear tales sow discord often eat the flesh on their own back." People in this hell suffer and cry incessantly. After the karma for this hell is completely eliminated, they will be sent to the hell of molten copper and have their throat, heart, lung, and intestines scalded. So much suffering can occur with just the karma of speech. Those who defame the Buddha and sages, or those who create rumors or extensive conflicts, or those who cheat the elderly and kind people, cannot escape torture within this hell after their death. The hell of whipping. A creature, no matter how insignificant, is still a life form. When we whip and hurt small animals, or stamp on ants, though this creature cannot talk or fight back, the pain that they suffer are no different from that of human beings. Unsympathetic people will be flogged and severely beaten after death. Retribution follows an action, like a shadow follows a form. We must be on our guard. The hell of chopping. To satisfy their own craving for meat, people slaughter animals and chop them into pieces. They themselves will be chopped into pieces after death. As it has been said, mind is the painter, painting one's own karma. One has to take the consequences for one's actions. The hell of icy coldness. Putting creatures within a cold place to freeze to death. For example, putting caught fish in freezers or freezing a person soon after death is extremely unkind. People who commit these acts will be sent to this hell. The book Yu Zhun Lun Ke says that people who abuse power to bully others and who cold-heartedly threaten others to lose hope will be sent to this hell. Today, many unlawful people use threats to force others into submission. These lawless people will not be able to get out of this hell easily. The same applies for those who indulge in alcohol and sex, and for those who are not dutiful and unfilial to their parents. The hell of hungry ghosts. A moment of anger will cause millions of obstacles. People fall into this hell because of their greediness. Because of greed, they do not want to give. These hungry ghosts suffer from extreme hunger and thirst, and are inflicted with the burning of their bodies. They weep torrents of tears. They moan with great sorrow. As we see, the merciful Bodhisattva Avalokitesvara comes to the rescue and provides food. Should they deeply feel remorseful at this moment, they will rapidly free themselves from the realm of hungry ghosts. The hell of pus and blood. Yuli says, those fond of killing go to this hell. It is very sad and cruel sight to see animals slaughtered. Lying in their own pool of blood, they often wail and bleed to their death. How miserable that is. If it was a human being that was being slaughtered, wouldn't we be angry? Wouldn't we want to take revenge? Yu Zhuan talks about people who use tricks and cheat others of their wealth. For example, those who cheat old people to take possession of their money and belongings, to cause these people to live or die miserably. They are guilty of the most heinous crimes, like vampires. They will be forced into this hell to pay their retribution. The hell of urine and feces. This hell is filled with urine, feces, and boiling copper. Not only is there an unbearable smell, there are also worms in the feces, with shells that are as hard as steel. The worms enter the body when the offenders eat them. The worms feed on the person's lips, and next on their tongues, throats, hearts, lungs, livers, intestines, and tendons, along with the rest of the flesh and bones. Such torment is to last for endless of times. Those who like to eat the animal's intestines, or commit sinful behaviors when drunk, or betray their parents, or bring harm to their friends and relatives, or commit adultery, or abandon responsibility and use harsh language, will be summoned to this hell. While our science and technology advances, our moral and values are retrogressing. For better or for worse, we determine our own destiny. We have to act with all possible caution. The third hall, the Hall of King Songdi. This king rules the great hell of black robes. People come to this hell because of their ill thought, resentment, ignorance, and fondness for killing. Those who are forced into this hell are engulfed by the rage of hot flames and are bound with black ropes. Then they are pushed onto a scorching ground full of sharp blades. Dogs with flaming iron teeth tear them from the sides. Their bodies are torn apart and eaten. It is miserable, and the sound of wailing is deafening. There is no getting out until the karma is cleared. If they are reborn into human form, these people will often be reborn into the lowest class of existence, and often forced to suffer from hunger and thirst. The suffering here is worse than in the great hell of life. When this karma is paid, and should there be other karma, they will be sent to other hells to clear those. Knowing such suffering exists, we must not go to the hells. The hell of pounding. One who pounds another to death with ill will be forced into this hell after their death. For example, in order to eat delicious food, one pounds fish or meat into paste or make them into balls. It is also said that there are people who often cheat and harm others. Currently, many choose to cheat the elderly, the weak, women and children, leaving them miserable and helpless. Those who cause such suffering will go to this hell. The hell of eye gouging. The retribution in this hell is cyclical. One misdeed often results in many transgressions. The more offenses one commits, the more karma one faces. Eye gouging is only one of them. The Yuzhun says that people who forge documents and defraud others of their personal belonging and property will fall into this hell. Those who commit misdeeds will be forced into the hell of black ropes. Many of them will also suffer eye gouging. The hell of inversion tortures. If one tortures others, like taking pleasure in forcing creatures to walk upside down, or hanging others upside down, like those who grill prawns and fish after catching them, or those who roast pigs, lamb, beef, pork, chicken, and ducks, and so on, will be sent to this hell. Those who set up traps, hang poultry and animals upside down, or those who abduct and sexually assault their victims will also be sent to this hell. The hell of feet amputation. Yuzhun says that the strong who abuse the weak, or those who use their position of power to bully others, like being mean to their subordinates and servants, and making life a living hell for them, will be sent to this hell where their feet will be amputated as a form of punishment. The hell of blood-sucking. Yuli says that those who use their position of power to embezzle public funds, property, and food are like blood-suckers who exploit the weak and vulnerable. Such people will be sent to this hell of blood-sucking. They will be helplessly attacked and assaulted by crows and bats. They will die from having their blood sucked completely dry. They will be revived when the wind touches them, and they will have to suffer the same agony over and over again until their karma is cleared. Then they will be sent to other hells to pay for their other sins. The hell of flesh-eating maggots. Those who commit bad and impure deeds will be sent to this particular hell. Poisonous maggots will bite and chew on them. Every inch of their skin, flesh, and every part of the body will be devoured. This incomparable torture is akin to your heart being drilled whilst you are still alive. The hell of rib piercing. Yuli says that government officials who are disloyal, receiving bribes, or who do not look after their own people, or those escaped from prison, deface graves, defame others, commit perjury, or help others to terminate marital contracts, will be sent to this hell. Today, freedom of speech has reached unrestrained levels. More and more disputes and misfortunes arise due to slander and criticism. This causes great danger and chaos in our society. Those who choose a profession to commit perjury or to be witnesses to divorces, thus destroying families, will suffer in the hell of rib piercing. The hell of tendon taking. Those who like eating animal tendon, such as ox tendon, or those who traffic in drugs or coerce others into committing crimes, will be sent into this hell. Those in this hell are chained on an iron cart. Their tendons are pulled out and are used as rope to pull the carts. Hell warden whip them continuously. Painful and agonizing cries fill the air. Yu Jun also says those who entertain lewd thoughts after seeing attractive people, those who are persistent and indulge in sexual behavior, or those who encourage others to break their marital engagements, those who encourage one's husband to commit sexual misconduct will be sent to this hell. The fourth hall, the hall of King Wu Guan. King Wu Guan is in charge of this hall. The suffering that occurs here are worse than those in the previous two halls. The reasons that we are forced into this hall include indulging in killing, stealing, and evil deeds in the previous life. People in this hall are engulfed by infernos. Tears of fire flow from their eyes and burn their bodies. The hell wardens chop away at their eye sockets and beat these people with iron hooks and rip apart their anuses with hot iron vices. Hot liquefied paraffin wax is injected into the body, while fires burn away on the outside. With intense heat inside and out, the torture is beyond description. It will take countless years before the sins can be cleared. Should one be reborn later as a human being, that person will usually have digestive tract ailments. Also, his body will be dry, dull, and unattractive. The hell of waist-level chopping. Here are those who pretend to be Taoist priests or like, who use scam ceremonies to deceive people of their money and personal belongings. Yu Jun says that those who are disrespectful towards heaven and earth and the gods will be sent to this hell. Destroying the environment and not treasuring our natural resources are considered being disrespectful to nature. Nowadays, people generally have no concept of respecting nature. In fact, many disasters are caused by humans, like overlogging forests and contaminating water sources. The hell of tongue removal. Those who like to bear false tales, or those who use abusive, wrongful, or flattering words, or those who are arrogant and defame the scriptures, or those who envy, despise, and slander talented people, will be sent to this hell. Their tongues will be pulled out by the hell wardens and torn apart by burning iron hooks, and their throats will be stabbed by hot, burning spears. They want to die, but they cannot. The torture and their suffering is beyond description and will last millions of years. Should they obtain human form, most of them will be handicapped. By seeing this hell, we will understand how miserable the retribution of verbal karma is. The hell of boiling water. Those who like to eat live seafood will be forced into this hell. Some people indulge in eating live seafood, often throwing live fish or prawns into boiling water, and watch them painfully trying in vain to escape. The sea creatures later become their delicious food. Think about this. For a moment's pleasure, we will experience the same pain in the future. Is it worth it? Also, those who kill chicken, duck, pigs, cattle, and sheep, in order to remove their hair easily, will often cook and boil the animals alive. The animals' suffering is unspeakable. Their hatred is endless. When those people die, they will suffer in the same way. We must carefully consider this. The hell of skin peeling. Those who fall into this hell usually skin animals for a living. For example, snake killers who often skin snakes, eat their flesh, and suck the blood. Or those who whip, torture, and flay others will be sent to this hell. Also, bullies who humiliate others so they feel stripped, leaving them with unbearable suffering. All those mentioned above will be forced into this hell. The hell of burning wheels and cart. This hell is also called burning cart. Those who chop other beings to death, those who mistreat their stepchildren, and those who kill, steal, and commit sexual misconduct will be sent to this hell after death. It is a tragedy that a family cannot stay together. Innocent children suffer the most of all. Already without the love of their own parents, If they have to suffer mistreatment from step-parents, their misery is further compounded. Human nature is originally good. Everyone possesses a loving heart. Individuals form a family due to the affinities in their past lives. Humans only live a few decades. A bully today may become the weaker party in the future. Retribution can come soon, and it will be too late for regrets. The Hell of Sword Tree. The trees in this hell are 40 miles tall, with thorns 16 inches long. The hell wardens drag offenders up the trees and throw them down, sharing their flesh and piercing their bodies. Those who ignore their own families and have affairs, leaving their spouses to suffer, will be sent to this hell. When offenders look up to the top of the trees, all they see are attractive and seductive soft-bodied women. Mesmerized, they rush to the sword tree. The sword-like leaves cut into their flesh and tendons, shear their bones and break their spines, until their bodies are cut into pieces. Revived by the wings of karma, they rush up the trees for the seductive women again, only to find them on the ground below. Deceived by karma, they let desire take control and rush down the trees. Again, the trees cut their flesh, break their tendons, shear bones, break spines, until their whole bodies are cut up into pieces. These people rush up and down the trees and suffer over and over again. This kind of retribution should make everyone fearful. From this, we can conclude that the harm from sexual misconduct is countless. We don't have many years in this life, so why don't we make use of our lives to do something that will be beneficial to others? The hell of eye shooting. Treating parents with hostility is the most unfilial thing a child can do. Aged parents, frail like candles in the wind, will be heartbroken when they see such behavior from their children. Filial piety is the foremost among all good deeds. Filial piety is fundamental for being a human, and is the foundation of family education. Being filial, we set good examples for our children to follow. Today, no emphasis is placed on moral education. Children know how to study, not how to be grateful to parents. From the time a child is born, parents provide them the best. When a child is spoiled and pampered since young, that child will naturally grow up recalcitrant and unfilial. Who is responsible for this? The three-character classic says that if a child is not taught, the father is at fault. If a child is not taught when young, unfilial behavior is expected in the future. When one clears his karma in this hell, should he obtain human form, he will be blind, hunchbacked, and will have a short life. Those who fall into this hell will remain in the dark forever. Even in the human form, they will still not be able to see. The hell of knee torture. Yu Zhun says that one who embezzles ancestral properties and creates problems, conflicts, and lawsuits among siblings will fall into this hell after death. Today, it is common for family members to become enemies by fighting over their ancestors' assets. When descendants inherit from their ancestors, they should be grateful and sincerely carry on the good name of their ancestors. The fifth hall, the hall of the King Yanluo. King Yanluo is in charge of this great hell of wailing. Those who are forced to be here have indulged in killing, stealing, misconducts, and intoxicants. The suffering here is more severe than those in previous hells. Offenders who suffer this punishment cannot stop wailing loudly, thus the name of this hell. If they obtain human form after this retribution, they often suffer from blood-related illness, or they will be born poor or in desolate countries. Most who fall here have already been to the previously mentioned hells and have suffered a lengthy period of time. Those who clear their karma will be allowed to be reincarnated. Those with more severe karma are sent to other hells to clear their karma after ascending the Tower of Hometown Viewing. The Tower of Hometown Viewing is 8,000 miles long and is full of people attaching stubbornly to their faults. After climbing up the Tower of Hometown Viewing, they look forward to meet loved ones they can never see again. All that they get to see are heartbreaking scenes. For example, the family shrine in ruin, and family moral tradition fade away. Creditors come to collect debt, while the corpse is still warm. Siblings become enemies, fighting over assets that are left. Fires destroy properties and wealth of rich families. A beloved daughter is bullied and forced into prostitution. Viewing all these miserable scenes is the most heart-wrenching experience for the offenders on the Tower of Hometown Viewing. The hell of intestines ripping and heart slicing. Yuli says that for fame and gain, some will use unscrupulous means to deceive the public. Even worse, some repay kindness with enmity. Such merciless people with no conscience at all will be forced into this hell after death. Also, those appearing to be gentlemen but commit rape may indulge in a momentary pleasure, but in their future, they will pay dearly for it. They will have their intestines ripped and their hearts sliced up. The Hell of Blade Mountains. In this hell, there are knives and blades everywhere. Offenders are cast down from the sky. Their intestines are pierced and their blood cascades everywhere. Those who harm genuine places of proper teachings or defame saints and sages will fall into this hell after their death. Yuzhun says that those who deceive others with fake products or who deceive uneducated and ignorant women, even causing them to die, will also fall into this hell. Nowadays, there are syndicates of people who take advantage of weaknesses of human nature to cheat people with despicable scams, such as making counterfeit products and medicines for profit. These unscrupulous people don't know how terrible their retribution will be. The Hell of Flying Swords and Burning Stones. Flying swords and burning stones rain down from the sky. The offenders have no escape and will be cut up and be crushed to pieces. Offenders are forced here because they have bullied the weak, or they have caused wars, or cursed and slandered the way of the heavens and nature. They will be forced into this hell after their death. The Sixth Hall, the King of Bian City. The King of Bian City is in charge of this great hell of screaming. The suffering here is more severe than those in previous hells because the level of killing, stealing, and misconduct committed are more serious than the previously mentioned. Thus, the torture is proportionate to their crimes and their sufferings are more severe. They scream in pure agony every time they undergo the tortures. Thus, it is called Great Hell of Screaming. Here, the penalty for wrongful verbal expression is more severe, and the time of suffering is extended beyond the times in other hells. The torture is extreme and intense beyond human comprehension. The Hell of Throat Nailing. This hell is for those who commit sexual misconduct. Ignorant people blinded by their heart and passion commit these offenses and receive the retribution here. It is not worth it at all. People who speak obscene words will have their throats pierced by hot burning nails. Should people clear off their karma and obtain human form, they will have foul-smelling mouth from any remaining retribution. The hell of pounding pillar. Those who slaughter animals or catch fish for a living will get this retribution after their death. Offenders are placed in a mortar. The hell wardens use a metal pillar to pound the offenders until their flesh and blood are all mashed together. The hell of male. Males who commit sexual misconduct, or who have many wives, or who visit brothels, will fall into this hell after their death. When alive, they enjoy the pleasure of having many women. After death, they will be mailed into minks. The retribution for sexual indulgence is incredibly miserable. The hell of decapitation. Well-educated people can utilize their knowledge to cause harm to others. For example, the promotion of violence or pornography. Powerful people abuse their power to hurt others. For example, the abuse of authority and the suppression of virtuous people. These able people use their abilities to harm others, and those in high positions who seek benefit only for themselves will all fall into this hell. The mass media today promotes violence and pornography, which contaminates the minds of the young, harms society, and ruins traditions. Those who commit such deeds will fall into this hell after death. The hell of tiger biting. People who are not contented with just eating gourmet food set up traps to catch wild animals such as wild boar, deer, and monkey. Those who like eating animals will fall into this hell after death and become food for tigers. Pregnant women who abort the pregnancy with medication will receive such retribution. In this world of declining morality, many ignorant young girls and women often have abortions. They do not know the horrors in the hell of tigers biting. The hell of fire cattle. Yu Zhun says that cattle, horses, and dogs contribute a lot to the farms. When these animals get old, owners with no compassion will try to sell or kill them for profit. These behaviors are extremely inhumane. These people will fall into this hell after death. The hell of kidney eating. Yu Zhun Lunke says that those who have families and still want others' wives and daughters as concubines, or those who devise tricks to harm others, or cause others' families to break up or the members to die, will fall into this hell after death. The seventh hall, the hall of King Taishan. He is in charge of the great hell of heat and fire. This hell is for those who committed the aforesaid crimes, such as killing, stealing, wrongful thoughts and deeds, drinking intoxicants and untruthful speech, but yet have not a single thought of remorse. These people will fall into this hell after death. The suffering in this hell is a lot harsher than in the previous ones, as the burning fires in this hell are unremitting. Those who clear their karma will spend 300 lifetimes within the hungry ghost realm, followed by 200 lifetimes within the animal realm. After that, should they obtain human form again, they will be born as disrespectful children, without remorse or shame for their misconduct. They will be despicable and behave like animals, have terribly cracked hands and feet, and be incapable of earning enough to even buy food. Their entire lives will be void of happiness and merits. This hell is encircled by great fire and heat. In this hell, they will be cut into pieces and burned, suffering immense pain from birth to death and from death to birth. The hell of tongue removal and cheek piercing. Yu Zhun says those who often write dishonest words, harm others by instigating unnecessary lawsuits, devise harmful tricks, manipulate facts, cheat for financial gain, or cause others to die from a miscarriage of justice, will fall into this hell after death. Today, people fabricate legal documents to manipulate facts, instigate lawsuits, threaten, extort, or cheat others for money, or even cause others to die from miscarriage of justice. All such people will receive their retribution after death and fall into the hell of tongue removal and cheek piercing. The hell of stone bearing. Yu Zhun says that ferocious women who act ruthlessly, or those who cheat and kill for money, or those who do not respect teachers or show gratitude to their parents, or those who do not behave in propriety, will fall into this hell. The hell of dog howling and wolf biting. Those who start disputes, or cause trouble to retain power, or who are void of loyalty and kindness, will fall into this hell. A Chinese proverb describes heartless and malicious people as having the heart of a wolf and the lung of a mad dog. These people may have enjoyed wealth and power, but after death they will be bitten by mad dogs and wolves, dismembered and their joints and bones crushed. The tragic retribution is too horrible to contemplate. The hell of boiling oil. Those who like frying the flesh of living creatures, setting fires in mountains or forests, or cooking living creatures over a fire, will suffer in this hell after their death. People today who wish to develop forested or mountainous areas often use fire or explosives to clear the land. Not only do they destroy the natural environment, they also take millions of lives. People who like to hike or barbecue in the woods may carelessly start a fire. Those who cause other creatures to die in such ways will fall into this hell. The hell of the scale. Merchants who cheat customers, take advantage of others, are dishonest in business dealings, or refuse to repay their debts, intentionally wind up the company without good cause, or keep property and assets they find that belongs to others, will fall into this hell after their death. The hell of iron balls. The Ksiti-Garbha Sutra says that those who fall into the Avisi hell suffer relentlessly from swallowing iron balls when hungry, and from drinking molten iron when thirsty. Beings in this hell lie on the burning hot iron. As their mouths are pried open by clamps, burning iron balls will be thrown into their mouth. The balls burn their lips, tongues, throats, and intestines. When excreted, the balls are still red hot. The process repeats endlessly and the pain is beyond imagination. The eighth hall, the hall of King Du Shi. King Du Shi is in charge of the great hell of fire and heat. The torture and suffering caused within this hell is never ending. From the ground to the sky, the inferno is everywhere, burning continuously for infinity. Those in this hell are burned for infinite time. They are bathed in boiling blood till death, and then revived again in the same hell. Their karma cleared, they fall into the ghost and animal realms, where they suffer from thirst and hunger, even from eating one another. After such suffering for immeasurable lives, it will be extremely hard for them to become human again. Even if they were to be reborn as humans, they will be easily irritated and have short lives, as the remaining retribution for their karma. Suffering in this hell is far more severe than in prior ones. The main causes are similar, but the offenses are much worse. Therefore, the retribution is much more extreme. The hell of burning marrow. Those who instigate the burning of lowlands, or who do so themselves, or build sealed spaces to suffocate and thus kill mice, mosquitoes, or ants, will fall into this hell. People often use electricity or fumigation to kill insects. Out of convenience, people burn the weed without knowing that many small creatures live in the ground and will be killed by the fire. We must be aware that these are serious killing offenses. Additionally, when cleaning, people often fumigate or use poison to kill ants and small insects. These are very bad karma. 3 days prior to such activities, we should sincerely ask Avalokitesvara Bodhisattva to compassionately protect these small creatures and ensure their safety. According to the Cause and Effect Sutra, incompetent doctors who worsen their patients' conditions will also fall into this hell after their death. The hell of pointed spikes, or hell of steel spikes. Those who engage in corruption, fraud, or bribery, and who oppress the poor, who unscrupulously cut others' wages, who treat others meanly, or who induce and encourage lawsuits, will fall into this hell to suffer the pain of pointed spikes. The hell of hacking. Those who cheat or steal money from others, disbelieve the Dharma, or have wrong views will fall into this hell. Dishonest people who cheat and confuse the public for profit or pleasure will be punished the same way. Their bodies will be hacked into pieces just like a log. The pain is extreme. The hell of iron snakes. Foolish beings who condemn and look down upon the merit of charity giving, who instigate others to hoard and be stingy, and who speak against nature's law of cause and effect, will fall into this hell after death. Buddha said that giving wealth results in gaining wealth, giving teachings results in attaining wisdom, and giving fearlessness results in having health and longevity. Also, the law of cause and effect runs through numerous lifetimes. Causing good to be done produce good effects, whereas causing negative actions will produce bad effects. Those who perform good deeds but have not received good effects, or who committed offenses but have not been punished, are still undergoing retributions from their previous lives. The hell of molten iron. In this hell, molten iron is poured into the offender's mouth. From head to toe, the whole body is burned instantly, and miserable scream of horror and wailing could be heard everywhere. This is the direct result of our bad deeds that we have performed within our previous lifetimes, especially from verbal misconduct. Beware that the mouth is the door to good and bad fortune. The hell of fire dogs. Sanfa Dulun says silkworm farmers will go to this hell. Those who fry living beings and who feed small animals to tigers or leopards will fall into this hell after their death, to suffer the biting and tramping by fire dogs. Just as nature provides for all living beings, we should also have compassion for all animals. The ninth hall, the hall of King Pingden. King Pingden is in charge of the biggest hell of all, Avisi, which is the hell of incessant suffering. Suffering in this hell is much worse than the previous ones. Those who killed their parents and committed even more serious evil deeds because of their greed, anger, and ignorance will be sent to Avisi hell. This hell is arranged in layers of punishment halls, with fires from all sides. The offenders had committed the most evil of deeds when they were alive. So here they are to suffer the most severe torture. In addition to being burned, they will be sent to freezing places where cold winds blowing on them cuts like knives. The excruciating pain is beyond description. All transgressions are caused by one's karmas. There are 16 small hells with increasing levels of sufferings. Due to the varying degrees of causes, it will be an infinite time until the karmas are cleared completely, and only then can the beings here leave. The hell of wasps and scorpions. Yuzhun says, those who have power and wealth, but who are reckless and unscrupulous, or who seduce unmarried girls, who pretend to obey rules and orders, who fail to be good role models, and who cause others to do evil shamelessly, will fall into this hell after death. Today, people tend not to trust each other or obey rules publicly, but indulge in evil behavior privately. All these are examples of why people go to this hell. The hell of poisonous snakes. Yu Zhun says that the hell of wasps and scorpions and hell of poisonous snakes punish those who are shameless. Those with strong hatred also fall into this hell after death. Those who do not know the meaning of shame can easily commit all sorts of bad deeds. Those who are filled with hatred will act irrationally and thus commit endless karmas. They will fall into this hell after death. The hell of brain removal. Those who treat parents and teachers arrogantly, who show others how to do things illegally, who impose all sorts of hardship on others, such as catching living animals by their heads, thus frightening them and making them suffer great pain, will be sent to this hell after their death. The hell of standing on mountain full of pointed stones. Yu Zhun says, those disloyal to their superiors and those who misbehave without restraint, thereby causing misfortune for their superiors, will be sent to this hell. Those who cut trees excessively and ruin the environment, or who disrupt nature, will go to this hell. The hell of cruel knowing. Yu Zhun says that those who kill out of hatred and impute the blame, or talented people who are arrogant and commit sexual misconduct, or those who conspire to cause death of others, will fall into this hell after death. Offenders here will be teared into pieces by iron claws, and suffer endlessly, life after life in the same hell. The hell of raining needles. In this hell, steel needles fall like rain from the sky. Offenders' bodies will be pierced by the fine needles as they scream and scream in agony. These people committed immeasurable negative karmas due to using deceitful words or using medication to abort a pregnancy. This is the cause for falling into this hell after their death. The 10th hall, the hall of Great King Zhuanlun. This hall faces our polluted world, and this king reigns over all souls brought here from the other halls. He will judge the fortunes and misfortunes of the offenders before sending them to the 4 great continents for rebirth. Depending on the amount of good or bad deeds, these souls will cross the bridge of vanity, whether of gold, silver, jade, stone, or wood, to be reborn. The lists of names are compiled and sent to the first hall for registration before the souls are sent to the city of Fangdu to be categorized further according to expected lifespan or according to the changes of fortunes or misfortunes they have. The whole process is carefully managed. The people in this picture had done good deeds. They are admired by heavenly and human beings when they were alive. They were greeted respectfully by King Zhuanlun after death. Good deeds will result in good results. They will be born to fortunate or wealthy families. In summary, good deeds lead to good results. Bad deeds lead to bad results. The law of cause and effect functions faultlessly. Performing good deeds will accumulate good merits. Those who enjoy giving and helping others, and who always follow moral principles, who are filial to parents, respectful to teachers and elders, who are compassionate and do not kill any living beings, will die in peace and be reborn in either the heaven or human realm. Therefore, what people do in their current lives will determine what they become in their next life. It is not arranged by deities or someone in the heaven. People in all walks of life have their own causes and effects. There are reasons for being rich or poor, so we should not envy the rich nor be frustrated that we are not. After understanding the principle of cause and effect, we should make peace with ourselves and try our best to fulfill our responsibilities. As is said, rich or poor, everyone should behave in accordance with who they are. Be responsible without complaint is the way to clear one's karma. People on the bridge of vanity will find it's too late for regrets. After leaving the hell and stepping onto the bridge of vanity, they will be led by their karma to happiness or suffering. To be animal or ghost, or even human, they will suffer through uncountable cycles of rebirth endlessly. Sutra followers who do bad deeds are sent to the pavilion of Mengpo first. Yuli says that it will be hard for the king of hell to sentence offenders who had recited sutras and mantras, so they will be first sent to the pavilion of Mengpo and made to drink the soup of forgetfulness, and then sent to be reborn. But they will die young. They will forget the sutras and mantras they have learned, and then be sentenced. Yuli says that the Jade Emperor of Heaven ordered Mengpo to be the goddess of darkness and to build a forgetful platform. Those who are to be reborn will be sent to this platform to drink the soup, so they will forget everything about their previous life. After drinking the soup of forgetfulness, it is time for rebirth. Having drunk the soup of forgetfulness, those who have done good deeds will be reborn as humans, wiser and stronger than before. Those with bad deeds will become dull-minded, weak and weary. They therefore have the motivation to start afresh to become a better person. It is hard to be born as human, to encounter Buddhist teaching. The Buddha said that the chance to obtain human form is unbelievably rare. We should treasure this precious opportunity to be a human and cultivate seriously. The sufferings in the six realms are too terrible to bear. Beings have been suffering for eons unknowingly. Now that we have encountered the teachings of the Buddha, it's like a light being lit in a room darkened for millennia. We should treasure every second and learn diligently, so that we can escape the suffering of rebirth. Most of those named on the rebirth list are to be reborn in forms lower than human. Checking the names on the rebirth list, the king of ghosts will find mostly animals and ghosts. Seeing all the animal skins, it becomes very clear that the chance to be reborn as human is very rare. The king of ghosts waves willow twigs, and souls are reborn. Thousands of souls will be reborn according to their karma, either as human or as different kinds of animals, including flying birds, running beasts, even wriggling worms. They will re-enter the cycle of endless rebirth. The morning sun is shining, and the world is very bright. Good or bad results are caused by us. After completing the suffering in hell, new lives are reborn, and there is a new dawn. The three-character classic says that the essence of the true nature is pure and kind. We have committed numerous offenses because of our polluted karmic habits, which are not innate in our true nature. It is hard to obtain a human form, but we have one now. It is harder to meet the Buddha Dharma, but we have found it. We must treasure every second in this life, cultivating diligently and avoid further rebirth. Taishang says that good fortune and misfortune are created by us, so we need to be responsible for our behavior. After viewing the painting of the scenes of the hells, we can feel the horror and realize that being sent to hell is due to committing wrong deeds. Everything is impermanent except the law of causality. Having already committed bad karma, what could we do? Buddha taught us to sincerely repent and not to repeat the same mistakes again. This way we can clear our offenses. Lastly, let us all follow the teachings of the Buddha. Do all that is good, and avoid all that is bad. During the painting, the artist often felt the blessings from Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. On 3 occasions, he dreamt of the earth treasure Bodhisattvas. At the completion of the painting, he dreamt of all the kings from the 10 halls of the hells, and the earth treasure Bodhisattvas celebrate and congratulate each others. Thus, he painted these 3 images here at the end of the painting.